Okay.
Hey,
Oh,
hey.
yes. The ambies.
Oh, yeah, baby. Hold on one second. I'm still
Is
reading
that
through
the
some of these
worst
things.
name? I'm sorry. I still am on record saying that's the worst name for an award, the Ambies.
Hey, listen, we got used to.
Remind me
Do
of,
you
it does
remember?
remind me of something like something that means handicapped, but I don't know what it is.
No, I think every time I hear the ambies, it reminds me of like Ambien.
Yeah,
You know,
And
that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, the pills to put you to
Ambien.
sleep.
Yeah, totally.
I just want an Ambien.
That's exactly what it
That's it.
reminds me
Right.
of.
My podcast puts people to sleep.
That's it. It's Ambien. Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
All right. Shall we get ready to record?
Yeah, hold on one second.
Do your kids know Kid Leroy?
What? I don't know what that means.
So I would say no.
What does that
Do
mean?
your kids know Kid? Does your child know who Kid Leroy is?
I've never asked that question.
Is Kid Leroy a rapper?
Well, yes, but he's white and Australian.
Okay.
But he's kind of good, but he looks like Howdy Doody kind of.
Okay. Why is this a conversation?
Because
A
I have
topic?
one of his songs in my head. I have one of his songs in my head, and I just
got
want
an
to know
earworm?
if kids like him if they're nearby.
They are not nearby. They will be here.
Knows Kid Leroy?
They will be here in a couple of minutes,
cool.
not in about an hour. Because I have their iPads. They're not allowed to be on their iPads before 2 p.m.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Okay, I am all ready if we can.
Okay, so I'm ready to hit press record. So tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready for pressing recording.
How about you, Jessica?
You bet.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Where she's going. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Press record. All right, Elsie, give me a hello.
Hello. I have to. I'm double recording.
I know.
I'm double recording. I now have a backup of my backup, so I had to wait till the other one was on.
Gotcha.
What does that feel like? The backup of your backup.
I love backups to the backups. It's my favorite conversation.
All right, Jessica, and give me a hello.
Hello.
Such a Dorcas burger.
All right, well, I'm ready to hit the music whenever you want to.
Hold on one second. I'm still looking at my own show notes real quick.
Sure.
So I am. Oh my girls are loud.
Always your girls?
Laughing. Yeah.
Just ask Hunter.
She is very loud.
Ask May might know better.
I don't know what they know.
All I know is your internet's not so hot.
Yeah, it's not so hot.
Who, mine?
Yeah, your max headroom went again.
Who?
Who, you?
Me?
Yes. I guess Scott hasn't run the wire yet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shit.
Honestly.
Hold on. What wire?
He said he was going to run a cable in so you could connect right to the computer. To the
Hold on.
router.
Did that happen? Or was
that
that
hasn't done that yet.
You were just teasing us?
We're gonna do it. No, he will. The main problem is that Scott says he's going to do stuff, and then a long time passes before it happens.
Well, speaking of that, like we had a what do you call it? A leak? Is that what it's called, or a drip?
Either it could be
how much water there was.
It was just dripping out of the faucet thing in the tub thingy.
That's a drip.
It's a dripping. Yeah, it was getting progressively worse. And I kept asking Ryan, I'm like, mind you, it started when we moved into this house. We've been in here forever, but it was getting really bad. And I was like, can you please help with this? Please. So he finally, right before he was going to go out of town, he came in and he did the fixing. And he was like, good. It's all he had to get a couple parts and whatever and right? He's like, now you're able to use it again and all this stuff. Okay, cool. So I went and took a shower. And I took a shower. I came in the bedroom. I closed the door. I was putting my clothes on, and then I was sitting on the bed reading my iPad. Like I was just like scrolling through stuff, and then I start to hear the sound, and it sounded like a loud fan.
Oh no!
And I was like, "What is that loud fan?" And I kind of like dismissed it. Huh? What did she say?
I know she locked up.
Oh,
that ain't no leak.
No. And so then I was like, what is that loud fan? And I dismissed it. I was like, oh, the girls probably just turned on the fan in their bedroom or whatever. And then I'm like, well, why does it keep coming? And I go over there and there's like a huge gush of water coming out the back of the tub. So I'm like running over to the other house because, Rand's at the other house. He finished doing stuff. I'm like, you need to come. Oh, no. Right before that, I had a, follow my intuition. I had the instinct to ask him, where does the water come from? Can you show me how to turn it on or off? Because I don't want to have you leave. And then I don't know if something happens with the water, I want to be able to turn it off. Mm-hmm. So he walked me. It's like all the way by the front of the house, like way by the street. There's a thing. I have to turn it off from down that way. Mm-hmm. So then as soon as the water's like, I'm like running down the street with my thing, and I turn it off and the water stops and I'm like, and I go over to his house and I was like, hey, the water. And then he's like, oh my God. So he came in here and he's
recording that right there.
I know. Then he starts to show me, of course, he had to turn it off. He turned it on. He went and got parts at Home Depot. He went and do it again. He tried it again. He did all the stuff. Turns out that whoever set up the plumbing here did it a la country, right?
Oh, of course.
So then he gave me a whole, mind you, I asked for this. So this was not mansplaining. I completely wanted to understand what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So then I go, so what happened? And he goes, and then he talked me through all of the bits of the stuff that he had to stick in there and how something they cobbled together two things that weren't supposed to hold it and all this stuff. Yeah. So anyway, for the past 2 weeks, we have been unable to take showers here because we can't turn on that water. He had to put a lock on it. He had a part and he closed it up.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we have to go to
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. But we have to go to the other house to take a shower. So we just walk over. Okay. We walk over there to do all the showering stuff. But here
God, you have another house.
They called. I know, right? That sounds so fancy. But alas, when you see the houses, then you go, oh.
Meanwhile, it's like smaller shed, bigger shed.
Yeah, yes. This is yes. No. Seriously, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And so but anyway, so we went to the other house, and our landlord was super. He's like, he wants to replace the whole thing, and he has to have the one plumber dude, who is the one plumber that's worked, I guess, for him forever, who is totally busy.
And
it's now been like,
put it in.
Huh?
Don't have that guy. That's probably the guy that put
I
it
know.
there.
And so Randy was like, I want to be there when that guy comes in because Rand's done this. So he can look at it and tell the guy, no, that part's no, don't do that. Do this. Like he can tell him not to do what they did, which is use all of these other parts that are not supposed to be there.
I guess Randy can't just fix it.
And he started to do it, and then he goes, you know what? I'm done with this shit. Because he's done it. He's like, I'm done cobbling together all these things. He just happened to have the part that he needed because of course he does. I think I texted you guys this. It's like it has a name that's like it's a weird name of a little piece. He showed it to me. It's this little like pseudo screwdriver thing. And then he had it in a random box in his box truck just because guys like him have random parts that you can now. He's like, this is what this does. You put it at the end of the pipe, and then when you put it in there, it automatically locks it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. He's like, see, you just have to go boom, and then it goes, and then the pressure stops the water from flowing. So now he's got that lock.
Yeah, I think he's talking about a seal that and a seater. In other words, you bring it in and the valve seats against the other piece, so it can't do. Listen, I have the same thing in my house, the house I used to own. I have an electrical box, a plumbing box. I've got a toolbox for everything over there.
Yeah.
So, and then you just collect.
But who knows who has these things? Like, that's why I'm so amazed. Like, that's when I just love him so much. Who has these parts? Who has these parts and knows how to use them?
No one. But I will say this. This sounds a lot like how my uncle and my grandfather used to fix cars. Like, just cobble shit together, paper clips, duct tape.
Oh.
Yeah, and then everything works until it doesn't, right?
Exactly.
Right, but I think they were trying to save people money who couldn't afford an actual repair.
Correct.
So they'd be like, okay, well, for $50, I'll just tape it together, and they'll be like,
yeah, and you're like, all right,
for $50,
go ahead and do it.
A brand new one's $150. I'll rebuild it for $50. It'll last 2 weeks, and then you have to come back and buy the $150 one anyhow.
Yeah.
Right.
But at this time, it's a strategy. And I think that it's, I'm glad that he had the parts. Anyway, that's me talking about all the things that have nothing to do with podcasting. Life in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain life.
Oh my gosh. Should I tell everybody the story of what happened this weekend, Jess?
Sure. Yes.
No, the one that I texted you at night.
Yes.
Okay.
Is anyone
but we should start the show before that, because that should be part of the show.
Okay. Ready to go?
But John, whatever stories about the mountain she does, can you send them to me so I can make cartoons?
Yes.
I know this story already, which is why I'm asking.
Well, we're going to start the show, so it'll be I'll break it out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. You have your nail polish all set up so you can do your nails while we're doing this show?
I think I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready, definitely.
Okay, here we go.
Just open this one. Okay, I'm good.
So we don't make noise.
So we don't make noise.
Who's making
during
noise?
the podcast?
Not me.
No. And it's, look at the mic. Look how far away your mouth is from the microphone.
What are you talking about? It's right here. What?
No, it wasn't. Hold on, I have to sneeze.
Hit it.
You have to sneeze. God. What does that have to do with? Oh, because he has to press the.
Okay.
Right.
Here we go, ladies.
Hello. Welcome to episode 313. Also, please send me that video of Elsie dancing. This is She Podcast. I think I just said episode 313. I am your co-host, Jessica Kupferman. With me, as always, the extremely energetic Elsie Escobar. Hi.
Woohoo! Hello.
And then also our producer, the ever frustrated with me, John Domingo.
Hey, and by the way, look at how cute we are. We're matching today. You see our beautiful shirts?
Look at that. I didn't notice that.
We're matching, except look at her boobs. Like, I have zero. My boobs are like, I can be.
I know.
They're wow, look at that. I do not have. Anyway.
I know.
But how cute is this?
But I will say, okay, so these sweatshirts are a present from Happiness Is. I believe it's happinessis.com, but let me double check. Happinessinc.com. Okay. So
Happiness is Inc. So it's I tried it, just Happiness Is. but it's Happiness is Inc.
Okay, let's start this over. Happinessisinc.com. They they're very sweet to give us free sweatshirts. So we wanted to tell you about them. They have all kinds of happiness is a good book, happiness is the beach, happiness is hockey.
It is so cute. There's so many tops now. I want to get all of them.
What I like about this shirt, to be honest with you, is the neck. Because
oh, do you?
It's an open neck. Like it's clearly women's fit. And like you can tell that it fits because it's not too baggy. The boobs show, but then it goes where there's a waist.
Yes. It's like,
it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's flattering.
It is flattering. And can I tell you what my favorite thing about this thing is?
Yes. Oh my God.
It's it's the softest sweatshirt I've ever
in the world
touched. And it is so soft, y'all. I wish you could feel it. It is unbelievable. It's like cashmere of something like that.
Sweatshirt. Worth every penny.
Mom, hola, mommy. Mommy.
Hola, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
So nice to see you.
How do you look at how cute my sweatshirt is, Mom? It is so soft. We should send one to my mom. She would really like it. Although she doesn't need it though. She's in LA. It's not cold there.
It's true.
It's totally hot there.
Instead of mountain life, what do you have? What would we send her? Beach? She doesn't go to the beach, right?
No, there's a lot. There's so many. There's so many different things in here. They have happiness in the coffee stuff.
What would be
Happiness is a good book. Sunshine.
I want to send your mom a funny one though, so that when she wears it, it's insane. Like,
no, you can't. She's not gonna do. No, send her the one about the family.
In the barn. That one.
No, happiness is family. She would love that.
That's funny,
but that's not a pretty color.
Okay.
No, we're not gonna send her that.
Hook, line, and sinker. That's funny though. All right, fine.
I know. Not cup of tea, but she would like the family one. Are there any other ones? Do you want to put the thing on the screen so that people can see
it's in the 50s there? She's telling you it's in the 50s.
Oh, it's in the 50s there.
She needs a nice fluffy sweatshirt.
This sweatshirt, I'm serious, Mom. It is so cute and they're so soft. Morning coffee, a good book, my besties. I think the family one is the one that she would like the most, but it's not like my mom type of color. This is it's like gray. She's not gray. My mom's not a gray.
I think she picked that for us though, but I think your mom could pick a different color. Maybe.
No, what I'm saying is that she does the ones that they show in the store, they don't have a choice. So, you know what I mean? The one that I would pick for my mom would be Happiness is Family, but they only have it as charcoal.
She could sleep in it.
She could sleep in it.
It's cold.
Yeah, but hot flashes.
But heat though, they probably don't put on the heat. If I had to guess. When your mom's cold, she's probably cold, right? There's no heat happening in there. It's California. You guys don't have.
She doesn't have the heat. No, and then their air conditioner, at least the last time I remembered, was broken. So, but that doesn't really matter. But anyway. These are super cute. Thank you so much. Y'all should go over to Happiness is Inc.
Look what she's writing. I can wear it with bright jewelry.
Yes, of course you can. Okay. You can. And it's so sweet. I mean, it is really the softest ever. I'm really impressed with the quality of these sweatshirts.
I am too. I'd like to know where they source the shirts from so that I can make all of our things in this exact material.
It is unbelievable. It's so gorgeous.
I love it. And plus it's nice that it says, I mean, I picked Mountain Life for Elsie, but I put Mountain Life for me too, because I'm from the mountains and I think my camp friends would like Happiness is Mountain Life because we used to go to the mountains every summer. So that's why I picked it for me. I don't live in the mountains, but I used to.
But it's super cute. Y'all have to go check them out. They're very nice.
What does it look like behind your cameras? What, the sweatshirt?
What do you mean behind our cameras?
Like if you turned the cameras 180 and went the other way.
Oh, no, I'm not going to show you that. It's my messy bed.
Is that what you want to see?
Those are your boobs.
My giant rack. That's all I've got. That's all I've got to show you.
No, I think on the other side, the setup. Oh, I see.
As if we'd show you that.
Well, I can show. I mean, I have pictures of all that stuff.
Actually, I can show you. Hold on.
I have a setup. I have a picture of the setup. I'm going to send it to John. John can like send it over.
Okay.
But I have a
ton of crap here that I have to put away. A ton of crap here that I have to put away. That's my electric fireplace bookshelf. And then this thing, if you can see on the floor, is a giant piece of stained glass from a synagogue that's going on our wall as soon as we can get the electric.
Oh my God, Jess, she didn't ask for like an entire walkthrough of your life.
I'm trying to make the corner of my office sound better. Well, don't follow what I just showed you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's tough.
I've got to get out of the closet. Don't we all, Terry?
Yeah,
don't we all?
Yeah. A lesson long and wide for everyone.
You know what I have to say, Terry, when it comes to moving outside of the closet? I think that one of the most important things is the microphone versus the actual setup. Mm-hmm. Because if you have the right microphone, you can be almost anywhere. But if you don't have the right microphone, that's a problem. So, yeah. Anyway, just saying.
Sure. That's very true.
So I would invest less on the actual setup and more on the
microphone. Yeah.
Microphone is the way to go. But okay, so let us talk about my experience this weekend. I would like to have John come on the screen for just this bit of our show. Yes, okay, John, yes. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, John, I'm having you coming on the screen.
When you hear the story.
Well, I'm not going to. What I want is everybody here who is watching live, because this is what you get when you have live stuff. You get to see us. So, John, I am going to send you a picture.
Okay.
Okay. So take a look at your phone, and then I will tell the story. But I want to see John's face.
Did you tell your mother this already? Did your mom?
No, I have not.
Oh my God! Is that a rat?
Yeah, Mom.
Okay.
Mouse.
So let me tell you the story. Okay. All right, y'all. Oh. So okay. So this is Friday night. I believe it was Friday night. Oh, it was nighttime. The girls and I had a wonderful day. We were all incredibly tired, and it was, time to go to sleep. Everybody's like all wound up and whatever. And it was time for my last pee. Oh. And I go into the bathroom, and then,
What time was the last pee?
It was around 11 p.m. It was about 11 p.m. Okay. Right. So I'm walking into the bathroom, and I look at the toilet, and it looked as if my girls had not flushed the toilet, which is,
toilet paper.
Well, yeah. And it looked like there was something in there. Right. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so, they didn't flush the toilet again. So I go over to flush the toilet because it looked like there was a little thing down there.
Right,
something.
Just like animals.
And so, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. First I thought, these animals. So I go in there and I put my hand there and I look, and it looked like a little poop, like a poop. I'm like, oh my God, does that poop have a tail? And so I look, and it's a mouse. It's a little mouse. It was a little mouse in the toilet. Oh my God. It was a little mouse.
I hope that's what you sounded like when it happened.
I was like that. I kind of went like this, and then I came out and I was like this to my girls. I was like, oh. And they were like, what's wrong, Mom? What's wrong, Mom? And I was like, oh. And then I made them go look. And then I go over there and I go. You have to go in there. Go look. Because you will never, ever see this again in your life. I promise. I've never seen it. I'm like almost 50 years old. I've never seen this.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. And yeah, so I'm like, you guys, you'll have to go. And so they're both like, going in the bathroom and like, and of course, both of them went, oh, it's so cute. Both of them did that.
You're children. You've ruined them to be normal children.
So, quick question:
They think a mouse in the toilet is cute.
Was Randy around?
He was not. He was not here. So, because he was on a work trip. He's still on a work trip. So I'm sitting there going. I texted him. I was like, and then I sent it over, and he goes, "It was probably Uno. Uno's our cat." He was like, "It was probably Uno. Uno chased him in there, and the cat." And I think that the little mouse was like, and then he just landed in the toilet because Uno was chasing him. And that's what we think, right? That's what he said.
Right.
And so then I'm sitting there going like, what are we going to do? There's a mouse in there.
Alive.
And so Rand's like, go get a jar and get him out and take him out.
Put your food jar in the toilet and
it's a jar, dude. There's so many of those, those big jars. Yes, it was alive, Terry. It was alive. So then I go into my kitchen and I grab the jar and I'm thinking, and so now you see all of us, all three, it was a sitcom, dude. We're in the bathroom, all of us like this, like making squeaking noises ourselves. And as I'm trying to get the mouse out of the toilet, I had a moment of, what if the mouse like jumps?
Which very well could happen.
And so I thought, what if it jumps up? I'm going to freak out. I'm just going to be like one of those women that like goes like this, right? So I thought, oh my God, what is going to happen? Oh, and by the way, I know you all don't want to hear this. And Jessica responded to me and I don't think she would have been there with me. But when I looked at the little guy, he was so cute. He was like, he literally had eyes that were like this big. His little face. It was so cute. And so I go over there and I grab the thing and I just put it down, not all the way in the back because he was not in the water. So I put it in there and the little mouse just went in the jar.
Yeah, he was on the beach.
He just went in the jar. And so I like walked out and I plunked him outside. And
did you give it a good flick of the wrist so he would go sailing a little bit, give him a roller coaster
It was so dark. I don't know where he went. I did not want to do it. And then May, oh my gosh. And then May was like, we can't. He's going to die out there. He's cold. What? I need to go get up. And she's looking for a blanket. And I was like, May.
No.
He's an animal. He's not going to die. There's worse things that could happen to him.
They have fur coat. They don't get cold like that.
Anyway, so that was my story. And I just thought, oh my gosh.
So
there was a mouse in my toilet. And so, of course, from now on, every time I'm going in there, and then I was just imagining, can you imagine? Oh no. And then the thought of just sitting without ever looking in the toilet. You will never sit on a toilet without looking.
Right. Because I don't do that anyway.
Oh my God.
Especially in the woods or in a hotel or in the summertime, because in the summertime, silverfish and spiders end up in my toilet. And then I have like phantom feelings of having something crawl in my leg.
You do start to have the feelings. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
what if I
can't take it?
Oh my gosh. And what if I would have, oh man, this makes me feel bad. What if I was blind?
What? Oh my God. What? Someone would come and look for you, I hope.
No, but what if you're sitting there and you didn't know?
You pee on a mouse. What do you mean, what if? Seems obvious.
And then you flush the toilet and you don't know.
How would you? Wait, you know what might happen? If they had a seeing eye dog, the doggy would take care of it probably.
You think so?
No.
I mean, what do you mean no? You think dogs just let their owners pee on a mouse?
Yes.
No, they don't.
Also, the dog's probably not. But also, why would you say to the
their owner pee, like step on a cat in the street?
So wait a minute. So you're telling me that the dog, before the person who's blind sits on the toilet, jumps up, looks in the toilet, and gives the person an all clear with nothing in there?
But they can probably smell the mouse and then go and so they're
and then it would be a little confusing. But all I'm saying, All I'm saying is that was an experience. So now I can say that I almost peed on a mouse and I grabbed the mouse. I mean, I took the mouse outside. At least it wasn't a rat.
And then May tried to get it back.
And then May was like, yeah. And I mean, I've seen the little mice before. I have, not in the house, but I've seen the mice. There have been mice. I mean, there's mice out here. We're out in the outside stuff.
We've had the yurt rat. Now we have the toilet mouse.
Now we have the mouse. Anyway, shall we transition
Actually,
to
speaking of yurt rats? I think I figured out what's under my deck. Did I tell you that like we have the deck boarded up so no foxes can get in, but
okay.
Something dug a hole underneath the grass and the deck anyway to live there. So there's like a pretty significant sized hole to go underneath and burrow in our deck, which there's no way for me to get in and out of to see what's in there.
Right.
And Scott said he saw it the other day. It's like a groundhog.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a mole or some kind of weird little groundhog little fucker under my deck living there. More vermin. But I live right next to the woods too. So I mean, yeah, I don't live in it like Elsie, but there's no way to get around it, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta do it.
But yeah. And I know, and I am so sorry, everybody. I'm not saying I want mice in my toilet or in my house at all.
So back off.
I just am saying that was a surprise. Yeah. And I just thought it was not something I would have ever imagined when I looked in my toilet that there would be a mouse. And so now I know to always look and stuff.
Thank God. Like you didn't already know to look.
Right. Well, 2 weeks ago, I get out of my truck and underneath the deck, I go and I look and I see these two eyes glow from the light. And I look and I go, what is that? And as I look down, it looks at me and it's a skunk. Oh. And I mean, I'm like not even 5 feet away from this skunk and its tail went up and and ran back in my truck, got back in my truck and drove away until it went away. And then they went back in the house. But I screamed like a
it was so fun. I have to say that I was of course I was surprised, but I mean it really was so it was fun. I had a great time. I laughed, we laughed. I found it to be just hysterical.
She said she had a great time, you guys.
I know. I had a great time finding a mouse in my toilet. I mean, it was hilarious.
A little drama, I guess.
A little drama, a little like dopamine right before you go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And then I started to lie down and go to sleep. And then I started laughing because I thought, this is so weird. I mean, what? Anyway, shall we talk about podcasting?
Do you want to do the news?
I mean, let's go ahead and move into some newses. Yes.
Yeah. The news you can use for the informed podcaster. Podcasting news. Pretty exciting stuff.
All right. Shall we begin with your favorite subject? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Me or you?
You.
Okay. So Cameron Esposito is set to host the Podcast Academy's inaugural awards for excellence in audio, the 2021 Ambien Awards. Ambien,
no,
for short. Just kidding. They're just called the Ambies.
Yes.
The comedian and writer who released her memoir "Save Yourself" last year hosts the Query podcast, featuring interviews with LGBTQ+ luminaries and exploring issues of identity, personality, gender, sexuality, and civil rights. By the way, she's a hilarious comedian.
Is she really? I've never heard of her.
Is.
Mind you, I've never heard of most comedians. The end.
She used to have this fantastic haircut, which was like a full spiky like mullet, but it would come down longer, but then one side was shaved. It was great. It was perfect. I loved it. Yeah, she's a really good get to have host.
That's great.
And Donald Albright, who's the Academy chairman, said they're very excited to have her hosts the first ever awards for excellence in art ceremony. Her energy, stage presence, and wit will make for a very memorable evening. We're very impressed by this group of independent young podcasters that have taken to the airwaves to share their personal stories and create inclusive environment for their listeners. Other stars set to appear are Darren Criss, Hank Azaria, Whitney Cummings, Ashley Flowers, S.D. Haim, DeRay McKesson, Jackie Neal, Matt Schrader, Neil Strauss, Keenan Thompson, and Rainn Wilson. So yeah, they bookmarked those people in the middle with the famous people. So like who you need to care about is like Azaria, Chris, Whitney Cummings, and then Keenan Thompson and Rainn Wilson. Those are some pretty big names for podcasting awards. And
That's
I was kind of wondering, like, how do we get those people to come to our show?
I think that I wonder if there's like money involved.
There has to be, because those, yeah, you're right. There has to be.
Maybe that's how.
Top nominees include Dirty Diana, The Left Right Game, and Wind of Change from Wondery, as well as Wondery's Bunga Bunga, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, Slate's Slow Burn, and NPR's Code Switch. The Academy formed in early 2020 with a goal of creating an Oscars for podcasting.
So this is like why. Yeah. So essentially, this is why the Podcast Academy exists. I mean, this is why. This is it. This is why those of us who are Podcast Academy, how do you say it? Members. This is what our money went towards. Mm-hmm. So might as well see where it goes. And now, Rob Greenlee is going to be presenting the award, the award. I don't know if it's an award. Yeah, it is for the Audio Impact Award that is going to Teenager Therapy Podcast. So he will be there live. So by the way, this is a in-person event that will also be streamed live from LA. So if you guys want to check it out, it is happening Sunday, May 16th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'm assuming that you need to follow the Podcast Awards social media to get more details, or go over to, I assume, podcastacademy.com to sign up for the newsletter.
Is it bad that I'm having a hard time caring about it? Should I be caring about it more?
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, there's a lot of us who stopped caring about the regular awards, like the Golden Globes and
I mean, it's true. I am
Academy
on that
Awards
list as well.
And
it's true. You're right. I am definitely on that list. I do not.
Yeah.
care.
So it's we've kind of stopped caring about a lot of this stuff. So in some way, we'll see what happens. And I see the value of awards at times, but at the same time, it's I don't know. We'll see. And it's funny because Teenager Therapy, I thought I knew all about them. I actually listened to a couple of their episodes, and I put it in our show notes. Now, I went and looked back and I thought, oh, we obviously covered this because I listened to the show. I remember specifically, and I did a search in our Notion database, and sure enough, it shows up in episodes for 2020. But you know how we have in our Notion database, we have on the left-hand side that no status page with like articles that either I wanted to talk about or we move it over whenever we don't talk about it, or things that never actually make it onto the show. Yeah. It was on there.
No.
So it was in the no status, which means we probably never actually talked about it, because I wanted to put it into the Weird and Wild Show of the Week, but I don't think it ever made it into our show. So yeah, but I knew about it. It's it actually is the reason that I'm sort of kind of happy about this is because this is not a highly produced show. Teenager Therapy is very much a group of teenagers. I think that there's up to 6 of them, or it's a big amount. And they just talk about their lives and address topics, but they don't ever try to ever pretend that they're more than teenagers. It's not like they're the smart teenagers that know all the answers. They are,
Mhm.
it's very much like an independent podcaster in the way that we listen to a lot of shows that have large groups of people having conversations, and they just talk about subjects that are of interest to them, and they give options for folks when it comes to obviously mental health advocacy, resources, things like that. But they also don't try to pretend that everything's okay. So they just
Right.
talk about their own experiences and do it from the perspective of a teenager. So I found it to be really, it's really great. It was a really, it's a
Cool.
really great experience. Yeah, it's super down to earth.
Cool.
Yeah, and so anyway.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. Moving right along now. I just wanted to touch on a couple of interesting things here. This one about the New York Times, and that they said that that they're crediting podcasting for helping the New York Times see double-digit digital ad growth.
That's
I thought
cool.
I thought that was very, very interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what happens when you pay attention to podcasts, I think.
No,
The
I
New
mean,
York
it's
Times
just
says the reach of its
Mhm.
podcast. It's because of Kara Swisher. Kara Swisher hosted Sway and the Ezra Klein Show. The Times does not release podcast revenue, but reported overall advertising increasing 16.3% to 5.95 million, with podcasting cited as one of the reasons for the growth. There's been a real improvement in digital advertising in 2021, said the CEO. The Times struck a $25 million deal to buy Serial Productions. Whoa. And inked a multi-year partnership with This American Life. Well, that also explains it. You know, if you're going to pull in Serial and This American Life, I mean, yeah, you're going to see some increase in everything
there's
else.
going to be increase. Yeah.
La-di-da
I
for
just thought
them.
I think part of why this is intriguing to me is that obviously the New York Times, they wanted to go into the whole subscription thing. So you want to pay for the, they're trying to monetize it because regular advertising, as in like on their website, isn't really a thing anymore. It's not really doing very well. They can't really be sending you the newspaper anymore. That was another way in which people paid for stuff, but now that's also going away. So a lot of the way that they were making money has disappeared. And this feels as if the addition to podcasts to this is a more lucrative form of making money in advertising, which they're not getting anymore in the other ways that they were doing it in the past. So it's a little bit of a pivot that is working out very well-ish for at least the New York Times. And all right, so moving on. This next article is from the Hollywood Reporter, entitled "Why Hollywood is Giving the Nod to Companion Podcasts." And I only put this here because I don't know, maybe for people who are maybe just starting to listen to our show, or maybe there's a lot of folks out there who have started podcasting maybe this year and might think that, wow, what a great idea to have a companion podcast for, I don't know, your TV shows, your movies, all of those things. Not knowing that the vast majority of podcasts since their inception have been around TV shows and movies and franchises.
I mean,
I'm glad they got on board.
Oh, you
And
know
now
what though? I don't think until recently there has been a reason to cross-reference, but now podcasting has that special magical sauce of having no time constraints and no network constraints. They can say whatever they want. They can opine all day. They can raise wild, hairy stories and strategies and suspicions, and like they don't have to answer really to. I mean, I guess some do if they're still on a network, but for the most part, they don't. So like if I were doing a murder mystery show, I'd be like, and you should check out this podcast where an investigator talks about all the dirty crap they found in the closet or whatever, like whatever it is. Because it's I think it's like it helps them deepen the story. I don't think it's always been that way though.
Yes, oh my God.
You know it.
What do you mean? Think about, okay, remember,
that's a new thing.
Well, not coming directly from TV shows, meaning from like the actual large corporations who are creating this stuff. That's never been a thing. But the audiences and their desire to get so in depth into content is a constant thing. I mean,
no, I know, but they're not going to send
on
audiences. They're not going to send audiences to some schmuck in his basement who just happens to like, you know, CSI.
But I disagree.
Come on. That happened. That has happened in the past.
I'm not saying those shows aren't valid. I'm saying a network would not send you there. They would only send you to a place where they've curated the information or given someone permission to curate the information.
Oh, no. Well, no, there have been folks. Absolutely. And we're not saying about the network, but what is that? What is that show? The Blacklist. The Blacklist. The Blacklist. Oh, gosh, I forgot the name of your show. My God, they send the best promos into the feed. The Blacklist on something. Oh, my God.
Uncensored.
It's
the show itself, like the podcast, the podcast. But they've had a lot of the stars on their show, meaning from the Blacklist, explained. I think it's the Blacklist explained.
Right, and they also in the show they used like the podcaster's name in the story. Like one of the buildings was named after the podcast host. So, and for the life of me, I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. I know both of them.
Yeah, Troy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the other guy, I think, owns the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, I can't. Anyway, but he owns the Hollywood Reporter. I don't think he owns the Hollywood Reporter.
I think he does.
Oh my God! Listen. All I'm saying is that these things have been going on for a long time. I know that I binge listened to, what is that, Downton Abbey. When I watched Downton Abbey, I also was insanely obsessed with a podcast called What's Yours Downstairs. That was my favorite thing to do. When I watched The Crown, same thing. I was listening to the History Chicks had like an offshoot of a podcast that went into everything that was going on with The Crown. Oh my gosh, Game of Thrones. When I was obsessed with Game of Thrones, I was listening to like all of the Game of Thrones TV show recaps and podcasts that were all about that show. It is a known thing. And they're often, added whenever there's going to be junkets, like if they're going into Comic-Con and they're there, they usually get passes to come watch the stars of all the things. It is insane. Orphan Black, like we talked about last time. So it's just interesting how they're like, oh, Hollywood. What is it? What did they just say? What is the name of this thing that I was just, anyway, Hollywood is giving the nod to companion podcasts. Well, I'm glad, Hollywood. I'm glad you see the value. It is like, duh.
Anyway. ABC had Once Upon a Time for 7
Once Upon a Time, that's right.
Daniel J. Lewis, not only did he had a podcast, then he had a podcast where girls would go in and they would talk about the spoilers. He had a whole forum where they were in there all week talking about the show and everything, and it went on for years.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. He would do a 2-hour show about a 1 hour. He would do a 2-hour podcast about a 1 hour show. It was crazy.
I think the thing that these folks are not capitalizing on is because they're cleaning it up a little bit. They're making like a 20 to 30 minute podcast episode with a behind the scenes with a couple of the actors, maybe the makeup artist or something like that. That's essentially, it begins and then it ends. But there's none of that fan engage. This is what I'm thinking. Mind you, I haven't listened to any of that stuff, but they don't have that whole fan engagement part of it, which is why fan podcasts are so vibrant, is because of that constant conversation that you're talking about, John, which is what I feel like these folks from HBO are not going to be hiring some kind of community manager to manage all the conversations that are happening about the podcast. Mm-hmm. They're just not going to do that. But that's where they're dropping the ball. Yeah, of course people want more, but even the first thing, like way back in the day, thinking about Harry Potter, it wasn't necessarily about the movies, but the huge podcast that went on and on and on when the Harry Potter books were just starting to come out, where it was like they would have readings every chapter. They would talk about the names. They would talk about where the names came from. They would talk, and there's folks who cannot get enough about these things. And I really don't think that that's what they're doing with the show. Mind you, though, Jess, I really wanted to have a show about discussing and getting super deep into The Witcher, which I thought was a phenomenal Netflix show. I got so sucked into that. Huh?
Why can't I get sucked into it? I cannot.
Oh, you did not get into it? Oh, I was so into it.
No, I'd like to talk about Hunters anytime you want.
Hunters was really great as well. It was
also,
a little.
Do you watch The Boys on?
I started to watch The Boys, and then it got really gory. Like, there's a point when it gets so gory.
No, it's just try and get past it. It's like The Sopranos, right? Try and get past it because the story is so crazy ridiculous.
It is crazy ridiculous. I just got a little overwhelmed with it. Yeah, The Witcher, to me, I just really liked the storyline. I thought it was really intriguing, and I really liked the way that they came up with an entire other world that was so mystical. I don't know. I really like The Witcher.
It's funny that you say The Boys got gory because literally the first 30 seconds, this guy's holding his girlfriend's hands.
And then they go away and now he's still holding her hand.
It's ripped away from him. It's so gross.
It's so gross. I did not. No. I did not like The Boys.
And we're done here.
Yeah, no. I don't know. And Shadow, I started with Shadow and Bone, Terry, and then I didn't continue. I watched the first 20 minutes of it. I should probably continue with Shadow and Bone. I don't know why. I think that, what's his name? Henry Cavill. Is that how you say his name? Henry?
Yes.
He's just amazing. Superman. I would rather watch Henry do all the things Henry does.
Oh, yes, please. With proper London accent, thank you.
Oh my God. Yeah, anyway.
So British. I love it.
But so yes, I'm just saying that these guys, I'm glad Hollywood is now on it with the podcasts. Anyway, this is breaking news though, Jess. This Netflix survey thing is, well, we can't really say it's news because this is primarily gossip. This is gossip. Because what people have taken up from this is that how there's surveys that companies put out, so that they can kind of gauge the interest.
We're one of those companies,
So Netflix just put that out. They put out a survey where they hinted at something called the N+, and in that, it seems like there might be some podcasts involved in that, and that there are, but here the interesting thing about that, it's not necessarily just that there's going to be podcasts, because Netflix already has a bunch of podcasts, but I believe it looks like they're all going to be accessible from within the app.
That's awesome.
So it's interesting.
I love that. Very cool.
So
super cool. That is super cool.
Yes. So keep going. That was it. I'm just going to have that as a link, and we're moving on.
Next one. The Apple Podcast app is a crime against humanity. All right. And then the subtitle is "Listen to Me Whine." Story by Colin Booth. Amongst all the big product announcements Apple made at its April event, the company also ushered in a new era for its podcast offering. Specifically, it introduced subscriptions in a redesigned app. Today, we're talking about the latter. Why? Because the Apple Podcast app redesign is a violation of our human rights, a plague among this fair and pleasant land. Okay, that's a bit much, but the redesign is annoying. Anything that gets tweaked should be better to use. This has not happened with the Podcast app. The most obvious and least offensive change is visual. Oh no. The overall shape of the app remains the same. The show pages have been redesigned so they look far more modern. Here's an example from the marketing materials. I don't mind this. It was due a facelift, but my problems with the redesign are far more functional. Let's look deeper. One of the things Apple changed in the refresh was the fact that you no longer subscribe, you follow them. I also find this very annoying. If you're trying to launch an actual paid subscription model, follow makes way more sense to separate paying and non-paying users. Okay, so we get that, right?
Right.
But The change removed all the download preferences. There's a number of podcasts that I listen to, this is from Callum, that pump out a gamut of episodes, a fair chunk of which I have no intention of listening to. Interview-based shows are a good example. In these instances, I turn off the auto download to stop my phone. Since the update, every damn show is set to automatically download. Having to go through my library and update settings is irritating, but I can accept it. It hasn't happened to everyone else, so I can write it off as a bug. But there's one bit of the redesign I cannot deal with: the change to the latest episodes section. And then the subtitle is "The True Horror" of the Apple Podcast app redesign. I like to think the way I listen to shows is normal. I find a list of all the episodes in my library and scroll down till I find one I want to listen to. Over the years, Apple's made this a little harder by hiding the menu, but now it has massacred my poor section. Prior to the update, latest episodes was just that, all the latest episodes. But since the update, I've only been shown a handful. Apple puts a time filter on this section. The default seems to be
Who knew that, right?
But the bigger problem is that the largest filter you can put on is a month. Why? Surely it would be just simpler to list every unplayed episode as it used to do. I like to curate them. Yes, but does he not understand? That's why. Yes, but I don't. Come on.
No, dude, listen, here's the thing with a lot of those.
If you're going to put your show under subscription, you can't show all the ones since the dawning of time, because most of those are going to be locked down now.
What? Not most of them, Jess. Not most of them.
If we chose to put our show under subscription, most likely the older episodes would be under lockdown.
I would not want that, because then we would literally drop our audience size to like 0.
Well, I didn't say it was a smart strategy. I'm just telling you why they're doing it. If they introduce subscriptions, then yeah, they're not going to allow every Tom, Dick, and Harry to download every episode, because it's sort of like, well, why bother making money off of it if you can just access every show?
No, but what I think is
anyway,
there's a usability aspect of this. That is what I'm saying. It's like, if you're used to seeing these things come up and all of a sudden you're in all of the settings that you've had, think about it from this perspective. Let's say your email. You know how you have same box sometimes, or you have certain filters for your email that you work with so that it works for you and you can find what you need and you can go back or whatever. Like, there's ways in which you can manage these things. What if all of a sudden your email app updated and all of those filters were gone and it was making choices for you? It was just going like, oh, Jessica's not going to see all of Elsie's messages, emails to her, because she only needs to see 5 of Elsie's latest emails. But you want all of my emails coming to you because you want to know what I send you. And there's times when you don't want to read it right then, but you want to see them. But if it made some random decision to just show you the latest 5, you'd be pissed.
It's not random. It's not random, though. It's since I
know it's since the update, but what I'm saying is now it's up to you to go like, why am I not seeing the emails? And then you have to go in there and go like,
I know it should be.
That's annoying. That's what I'm saying.
It should be on the onus of the show person,
yes,
not the onus of the listener. I agree.
Right. And the thing is, most people have zero idea this is happening on the back end, which is why I also put that other article in here, which is the latest, the one at the bottom where it says prevent Apple's updated podcast app from eating your storage. And that one in there, for anybody who has been experiencing this, there's another thing that's happening too. And again, not for everybody. Just I can't say it's for everybody. It's just for some people, where all of a sudden, all of the shows, all of the episodes, or all of the shows that you're following, the episodes are being downloaded to your device, even though you have told it not to do that. And so now it's eating up all the data because you have, depending upon how many podcasts.
Well, that's a bug.
Excuse me. Your subscriber. Well, yeah. Okay. But there's also the bugs that, like the ones where there's double episode, like it's overlooking the podcast title at the feed level, and it's like only looking at that one. It's overlooking the iTunes title tag, and all of a sudden it has like double episodes for some folks.
Yeah.
Episode numbers. for some folks.
Okay, well, let's just say it's a hot mess.
It's a hot mess.
Yeah,
Exactly. So all I'm saying to everybody here, there's going to be links in the show notes to some of these things as well, is that you cannot, and I think I wrote this inside of the She Podcast group. I can tell you this one thing, everybody, and it might actually hurt your feelings when I say this.
Uh-oh. My feelings?
But no, everybody's feelings.
Everyone else's feelings.
Everyone's feelings.
Not my feelings, though.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm kidding.
Because if you look at everybody's stats, like your own personal podcast stats, it might actually, in some cases, look like you've gotten a lot more downloads.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go, oh my gosh, so exciting.
They love our show.
What?
They love our show.
They love our show. I have more people listening. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. When really it's just because the people that are subscribed to your show are getting all of your shows downloaded
twice
to their device. And it's like annoying. And they're not actually listening. They're just getting their shows downloaded. So there's just a lot of stuff like that. All of these funky, weird things. Then the certain people's podcasts have disappeared from Apple Podcasts. So that's going to affect it in the other way around, because you don't know if they're actually getting, folks are being able to download shows. Maybe you're losing, people following your show. It's a hot mess all the way around.
I tried using the Apple Podcast app. I took all the other ones off. I took and only tried to use that. I lasted 7 days, and I deleted the app clean off my iPhone. It's gone.
Oh wow! You totally got rid of it altogether.
I said that's enough. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
I can't with you.
I can't with you.
Also, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this because I alluded to it last episode. But now what the podcast app is doing as well is that it's stripping off a lot of the HTML that it used to support. So Apple Podcast historically from the beginning was able to really support our show notes. So the way that I craft the show notes, where I have headers, I have bullet points, there are hyperlinked like I have a whole link list of every single article that we mentioned on the show, links to stuff. They're all in there. Everything is hyperlinked in there, so that if you want to follow along and even read the articles that we're talking about, you can do it. But now, hopefully, we don't know yet, due to a bug, it has removed hyperlinks from the equation. So now if you look at our show notes, it's just the text. You can't anything that's hyperlinked on our show notes, you can't link through. The only thing that it links through are naked text, naked links. So if you have just the actual HTTP, dash whatever www.com, that is linkable, but it's naked, so you can't hyperlink it. And the other thing that it does is that it removes, oh my God, it removes bullets. So now it's just a hot mess. All my show notes look horrible, and you don't even know what you're reading. You just see a bunch of words together with nothing. So I'm thoroughly disturbed by this because as you know, Jess, you've had a hard time with me and show notes. Show notes have always been my thing. Show notes. And now they're just a hot mess. It looks horrible in Apple Podcasts. You can't click through any of the calls to action that we have. If I have like a, click here or tap through here to buy your tickets to She Podcast Live, or, all of those things for our sponsors, all the links to our sponsors. No. So now you have to actually just have the URL. And that way it works. But it's annoying because at this point in time, I don't know if it's an actual bug or if this is a new feature that Apple Podcast has put out. So I can't even say, how I'm always saying, like, you can look straight into your phone at your app of choice. You can look and you can click through to all the things. That is not true at this point in time as we're recording in mid-May. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe there'll be an update and then we can find it out. But as of now, Apple Podcast truly is a hot mess. And I am very disappointed. That's all I have to say.
All right. Let's take a moment of silence for the Apple Podcast app, shall we? Bow your heads in prayer.
Bow your heads. May it be better soon. We love you.
Okie dokie.
Okay, that's all I have for my pet peeves section, I guess, aka news.
Okay. Well, I don't think we have anything else to discuss, and we've been talking.
We don't.
Oh
my God.
Right?
I think we're done.
Should we wrap it up?
I think we wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap
Flip it. Rub it down. Oh no.
Oh
no. My God, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I just would like to say, if you haven't gotten your tickets to She Podcast Live, please do it. We will be announcing speakers very soon in the next couple of weeks.
Are you kidding me? No, don't say that, because that's not true.
Weeks, I said. Weeks, not days. Weeks.
I don't even know.
Don't
believe Jess.
End of June. All right, end of June probably. We also have a team. More of a team than I even hired.
Oh my God.
I hired a very good friend of mine who has done lots of involved, dramatic, theatrical events in New York City for all kinds of clients, including American Express. She worked at American Express for 2 years in charge of their events. And she has come on. She's a very good friend of mine. Her name is Jen. So if you guys interact with her, that's who is going to be our like point person for the hotel and vendors and things like that. So she'll be taking care of like the event stuff where I'm a little bit out of my league. And then she has some staff as well, including, I haven't even told you about this yet, Elsie, but she has a producer that she is hiring. So technically I'm hiring, but really she's hiring a producer that used to work with her at the event management company called Imagination, someone who used to do sets and build for the Sydney Opera House in Sydney, Australia.
What?
That person is going to be designing our stage and some of our buildings.
What?
Some of our... Yes. We are having Sydney Opera House level shit, yo. And it sounded so uncouth. God. By the way, I did that on purpose. But they're amazing. They are amazing. And I'll tell you something else. The second we got on the phone with both of them, they had already researched our entire life history with the thing. They were like, I love this event. I love what you're doing. I have 1,000 ideas. I have 1,000 questions. That's what you want when you hire someone, not someone who's like, oh yeah, well, so Jess, Elise, how's it going today?
Oh no. I hate that.
So,
please stop calling me Elise, people. That's not my name.
I really was hoping to hire someone who would like take the time to get to know what we did, what we're doing, what our mission is. And they came to the call knowing everything. I love that. That is a true professional. Anyway, I'm very excited. They came in our budget, which isn't much, but it's an investment that I think will really help. You know, once we get, this is just some behind the scenes shit. Once we get this looking like the event we dream it will be, the next year it'll be even easier to have that, and the next year it'll be easier to afford more, because people will see that we have this like next level thing, and next level sponsors will follow, and then we'll be able to go to the next level. So like, I'm not saying we have to do it in Vegas yet, but I'm saying like the sponsors we
How
want,
is going to Vegas next level?
I think of Vegas as the top level because it's the place with the convention centers that can hold the most people. Like there's no other, I don't know of very many convention centers other than Javits and Las Vegas that can hold 100,000 people. That's what I was thinking. I was being sarcastic.
Okay.
But I'm just saying like, no, I don't want to go to Vegas. I'm just saying like they have the biggest fucking places. Anyway, I'm saying like we want sponsors that are corporate so that we can have food taken care of. That's what we want. That's the most expensive thing at an event, is breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. So if we have corporate sponsors, they pay for food, and then when people come to our events, it's all inclusive.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would love for it to be all inclusive and not to have women waiting in line for a bagel and be late to keynotes. I don't want that. I want that
and pay $15 for it.
Exactly.
Well, they can go on a trip to Whole Foods with me.
Oh no.
Oh yes, and then we can go shopping. We should have Whole Foods.
Whole
Foods could be a sponsor.
All right, then you call them.
Why are you fighting me on the Whole Foods thing?
I
don't understand how this is not. You know that there's a lot of women who are going to be ordering from Instacart and having it delivered to the show. That's all I'm saying.
Here's why I'm fighting you on it, and this is also why I love you so much, because when you get food, when you get meals outside of the hotel, it doesn't go towards our food and beverage, and therefore we owe them more money. So I mean, it's fine.
And it's bad for it's essentially saying you will be unhealthy and you will end up sick and be totally out of your own personal diet. We don't honor the diets of the people. We are. That's what I'm saying.
Why would we get food that was unhealthy? And
I'm just saying from hotels. I'm just talking about the hotel thinking about that they're just making a decision for you.
No, we make decisions for them. We have to offer. It's up to us to offer the stuff that people will eat. And it's a women's conference. They're going to offer healthy food.
All right.
You don't not offer healthy food, gluten-free, vegan, whatever. You have to. But the point is,
John's like hiding under the table right now, listening to this.
I'm just trying to figure out how much of this I got to cut out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Because we're selling the conference, and I'm doing the Elsie thing that always.
Yeah. We don't want you to go to the hotel and eat the food that's going to make you sick. We're going to take you to the Elsie Whole Foods store.
Elsie wants to know why she can't just bring in a buffet of Whole Food stuff. Like a hotel would ever fucking allow that. Elsie just wants to get a bucket of berries. Got in trouble. Yes, we got in big trouble. We catered an event at a hotel from another restaurant, and they stood outside with trash bags and made our attendees throw the food in the garbage.
They didn't. They were like this, putting it in their mouth, and they were taking it away. It was horrific.
That is probably the worst experience.
That was horrible. It was awful, people. Don't ever order food from a hotel like that, ever.
No. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm really excited. This is also someone that I grew up with. So she's one of my favorite people in the whole world. She has a really sophisticated and fun way of pulling off grandma chic that I love.
Grandma chic?
She is a grandma chic person. She's a big glasses, 70s moo-moo, large rings kind of like person.
My gosh, grandma chic.
I just love her so much. She's my favorite. Anyway.
I don't think she's going to be like, thank you for using those words to describe
Those are her
me.
Exact words.
Okay. All right. All right. Tamara, one day we're going to have to tell you the story of what we went through when we had all the food thrown away. It was traumatic for all of us involved.
Second podcast movement after I had Isaac. So it was 2015. We had a lunch. People paid for a ticket to our event, and lunch included.
Yes.
Oh God, never again. Anyway, all right. So anyway, get your tickets. Fuck it. We'll just sell it another time. Just take the whole thing out. Fuck it.
This is why you got to watch live.
She podcast
making it in the show.
Not live.
She
Come on. You can still chop it up a little bit, John.
Shepodcast.com/live. Get your tickets to the event. It's shaping up to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. It's in Scottsdale, Arizona, October 14th through 17th. Shepodcast.com/live. Also, if you want to catch us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, you can get us at She Podcast. You can also find the show notes at shepodcast.com. Send us your feedback about our show. Feedback at shepodcast.com. If you're watching live, Elsie is doing charades with someone that isn't me. Just kidding.
It's iPad time.
I wanted to show my daughter, and she decided to not. I wanted her to come and say hey, and she didn't want to. They're
starting to be that way too.
They're so tweeny.
Yeah, Isaac's starting to be that way too. Oh my God, I started doing this to Isaac. I was like petting his head. I was putting him to bed. I'm petting his head and he goes, "Stop it, Mom. It's embarrassing." I'm like, "We're not with anyone." How is it embarrassing? Oh God. So it's only 6. It's still early for this prima donna bullshit.
We almost made it to Love You Mean It.
Oh yeah, sorry. Keep going.
Right. Love you.
Mean it.
Bye.
Sorry, John.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm marking, because I hear Elsie saying that the food's bad. And I'm like, this can't go in there. This can't go in there at all.
No, it can't. What the hell, Elsie? Stop knocking what we're doing.
Sorry.
Oh my
Alright,
God. As soon as I brought up staff, you fucking roll your eyes.
I'm not talking about staff is not that. I'm letting you do your thing. It's just I understand it's hard. It's very hard for me.
Thing.
I'm just saying it's very hard for me to do the things.
What things did I ask you to do today?
Eat food that doesn't come from Whole Foods.
Yeah, eat food that I don't want to eat.
What if they bought their food from Whole Foods?
What if their food is fucking delicious? Then you're gonna feel stupid.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's like in the morning. Like, do you know how nice it is to be able to just get up and have your food right away?
Okay, but I'm not saying don't do that. You indicated that you would be marching people to Whole Foods.
Oh, I see.
Cater our event.
All right. Okay, so we can. All right.
You don't think people are going to be sending food in?
First of all, they can go to Whole Foods with you because I believe that every suite has a fridge and a sink. Like, I think they all have a mini kitchen. So I don't think that would be a problem. And yeah, I do think it's a good idea when you don't have someone paying for your food. But when you have someone paying for it.
And the great thing about this is going to go down and have breakfast with this one and lunch with that one.
Yeah.
You don't just go back up in the
It'll be good.
Hotel room to eat your Whole Foods grain. And
listen, John, you haven't seen me in a conference. Plus, nobody sees me.
I know. You're
only
not
when I have to. And plus, it's the same thing. And at She Podcast Live, I get but when you do so it's a different thing though, John. If we're doing She Podcast Live, it's not like I'm going to sit down and have lunch and breakfast and dinner with all the people. What happens, it's like kind of like it's your wedding. And then you go around and you welcome everybody and you're around and you walk around and you're like the person who's
is exactly why we need Jen and Jack though. Because
I'm not saying that they are not need. That's not the conversation. We're talking about Elsie having her own stash of food and my own little cubby where I can go and recharge and then do the work and come back and recharge. I'm not talking about staff.
You're supposed to do that. But listen, need to do their job. I just want to tell you this, like we had I had a call with the staff all day on Friday and we were asking me a million questions and trying to plan a site visit so they can go see the space and stuff. And at the end of the call, Jennifer sends me a text when we hang up and goes, "Thank you for putting your faith in me and in our friendship. It's going to be the best Jess mitzvah ever." And I was like, she gets it. Because it is. I mean, you are. John.
No, I get it. I get it.
It's like it's our wedding on a lot of levels. It's like it's our wedding. She's right.
Yeah. See, like Andrea has the healthy, like, listen, I get it, Jess. You understand also that I have
I know what she was talking about, Andrea. She didn't say stash. She said, forget the food at the hotel. I'll take everyone to Whole Foods.
I didn't mean to say that. But that said, though.
She does. I know she has a stash. I have a stash,
and it's like,
too.
Here's the thing too, though. If I were doing this by myself, like let's say I was given I had to do She Podcast Live, like me, just Elsie. Jen and her staff would have been hired the next day.
Because if Elsie had to do She Podcast Live, it wouldn't happen for another 2 years.
No, I'm not talking about my failings. I'm talking about.
I'm not talking about your failings either. You just have a way of like drawing out and
I understand. But what I'm saying is, if it had to get done, the first hire would have been that person, and because that's the kind of person I am not, right? And the things you love to do, I hate.
I couldn't. No, I don't love to do those things either. And not only that, but even if I did love to be like the hotel contact person and the person designing sets, like I don't know how these people have been doing it 20 years already.
Right. No, but the thing is, you have that fine touch of crap. Like you can see the small, like all the details. Like you can come up to me and you go like, "Oh my God, here's the thing," right? And you show me like pink sparkly things and you go, "This is the thing that's going to go in and you know exactly where the stuff is." And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't even, this is what I'm saying. Like you can do that. And then when I showed up to She Podcast Live, everything you described, I finally got when I saw it, but I have zero ability to see that, like zero. So I need other people to do that.
Yeah.
Not me, because I have that. It stresses me out.
If you can't see it in your head, how do you get excited about it? Or do you just not get excited till you're there? Like if you can't visualize what it's going to be like in your head, how do you get excited? Like, to me,
I have zero excitement. Okay, I don't have excitement. I have anxiety.
Great.
Right.
So I don't like until like I can do the thing. Yeah, I have anxiety. And even for the stuff that I've done in the past, I don't have excitement. Like in the small bits of even like having a birthday party at our house with the kids and like having 5 families come, there is not ever a thought of me going, I am so excited. People are coming over. This is going to be great. Like never. It's more like, when is it going to be over? 7 p.m. is when we've said, okay, they're going to leave.
Now, what if somebody brought over a chocolate water fountain? Would you be like, I can't wait to have people over and like watch them have fun with this water fountain?
No, because then
She doesn't like people. Elsie doesn't like people.
I don't like parties. I don't know if my mom's still here, but she can tell you I fought every single party that ever was.
I know, but you also danced your ovaries off at the last party.
Jess, listen, I have never not been good at my job.
Oh, that didn't look like you were working.
I worked. Listen,
unless you were
when you have to turn it on. I actually just listened to an ADHD podcast, and there's something ADHDers do very well. Is that they can do, if they're given a task, they can do that task very well. I know exactly what was necessary in order for me to impart the joy. And therefore,
listeners, I want you to immediately make any GIFs you have of Elsie dancing and send them around the internet, because she is lying through her beautiful teeth right now.
I am not lying. I said, listen.
Danced your ass off. Don't tell me it was part of your job.
It is part of my job to be in the party.
Such bullshit.
It is not bullshit. It is literally, I chose to do that. I could have very easily not.
Okay.
I chose to do it.
Well, listen, I don't want you to
overwork yourself. It's part of having fun. It's part of like, it's the same. You do it. You do what you have to do to make other people have a great time at your own party.
Yeah.
All I know is I saw a flood.
See, look at my mom. See?
Her mother wrote, it's true. It did not matter what I did. She never enjoyed it.
Mom, there's a story. Listen, I hurt my mom's feelings so many different times, Jess.
Actually, I would love for your mom to come this year. If she can come to Arizona, I would love to see her.
That would be fun, right? Right, yeah. But like, listen, she made me a cake with like handmade sugar. Like she spent so much time. She built my room. She had me like reading. I don't know what she made an incredible. She spent so much time designing this little cake for my birthday. I was a teenager, 16 years old, 17 or something.
Sweet 16 year.
It was horrible, and like I literally didn't even.
She said,
huh?
This is what happens. Elsie is the result of when you have two perfectly pleasant and lovely people and they have a child, because the child has to rebel. And if you're not an asshole to them ever.
16. Look, my mom is 16. Yeah, it was awful.
Too nice.
That was horrible.
You were too nice to her.
I left the party.
Spoiled to her. You gave her things to make her happy. That was your first mistake. Make them miserable.
Wait, you also don't know that they're very good at making me miserable as well. But when it came to
you.
Huh? What?
I don't think that's them.
What do you well, you don't think that that's them?
No, I know. I mean, I know that parents, no matter what they do.
Yeah, no matter what they do. All I'm saying, I'm not blaming. All I'm saying is that I was not an easy person to deal with, and I've always been like really selfish and self-absorbed, and I want to do it this way, and I don't want to do it that way. And please don't, and totally introverted and my way or the highway. And all her dreams have taken a dive when it came to having a daughter. That's all I'm saying.
I'm so sorry for your.
So you have 2 daughters, and they're going to have 16th birthday parties. What are you going to do for them?
Oh,
No, they're
they're
not.
like their mom.
Well, good
Yeah, they're
thing.
not.
Yeah,
They're
they're
not going to
kind
have
of
that.
like me.
If we had that, it would be in the backyard with several people, and they'll probably peg each other with water balloons or like go fishing and catch frogs or something like that, right?
Pinning
Yeah.
on the
I
goat.
mean, Hunter would probably like a party.
Nothing. I don't know what she's saying.
She's
I
saying
did
they'll probably have
nothing.
nothing. No, she'll probably say your parties will be nothing. You're not gonna have. Yeah, she's not gonna have a party for them.
I'm not gonna have a party for them. No, I mean,
You're gonna make
yeah,
your
I
own
think she's right.
party.
I mean, it's like nothing.
You're not getting
Randy will
diddled.
make parties for them, and I follow through.
Look what she wrote.
Yeah, Randy. See,
will
I
do
don't.
something.
At the same time, we said it. No, he will.
Yeah.
And he literally said to me, the other day, he came up to me and he goes, listen, it's going to be your turn now to be the person who's going to contact moms and make play dates for these kids.
Oh God,
because,
the kiss of death.
No, because here's the thing. Here's poor guy now. He goes, I have been trying to do this whole time. I've been managing it the whole time. And all of the moms think I'm like a weird freak person. He goes, what other couple has the husband reach out to the moms and make all the plans?
I know. None other parent. Because
none other.
I mean,
so then here's like this big giant guy with the beard going like,
God.
hey, let's get together with our girls. And then the mom's like, ooh, creepy husband guy
like
reaching out.
Furry bear with a tool belt.
Yeah.
A giant
texting you.
Tool belt is like, come hang out with your daughter and my
Yeah,
daughter.
exactly. Right.
Ooh.
So then he's like, I have learned that no matter what I try or how I do it, they think I'm a freak. So it's your turn. You got to do it.
Elsie,
I've been doing it, but now it's your turn.
It would not hurt you to have a mom squad like my mom squad.
Oh my God.
Mom squad is like the Justice League of mom squads.
No, right we can have my mom do it.
Right now, my mom squad
consists
across
the country. She's 2,000 miles away.
I know she's 2,000, whatever. But still, I mean, I understand. I never thought about it from the perspective of how creepy it would be for me to be getting.
I said, would it hurt you to have other mom friends? Besides me, they're not. It's nice to have. Listen, one of my mom friends is a lawyer and helped us get out of our contract last year from the hotel so that we could do it this year. One of my mom friends makes women's legislation and is making a law in my friend's name.
But you talk to them.
Yes, but I mean, we have a little Facebook texting group where we talk. But
I don't want to go into Facebook.
Sometimes we have like wine nights,
John.
And stuff.
Like, I don't like to drink.
It doesn't hurt you. It's not going to hurt you to have moms that are fun and nice to you. Would it? Would you understand that, like, I'm talking about people to go out to dinner with, forgetting that, like, Elsie lives 45 minutes from any place she can sit other than her own table?
Yeah.
Like, Elsie doesn't just grab a couple and go out to dinner.
No. Nope.
Imagine what life would be like if you could, though.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to. She probably doesn't want to.
I don't want to.
It doesn't. It's not that hard to make mom friends.
Claire gets me. It's hard to make mom friends, especially as introverts.
My friends are introverts. Only
but see, here's the thing. It's like, also, you got to see where I live as well. Like, there's you know what I mean? It's like, I'm a hippie like other hippies possibly are, but I also am not. Listen. So it's very hard to find the balance between all of these things.
I'm very grateful that you talked to me even as long as you have today. Thank you.
I know, right?
I do appreciate it.
Do I have another meeting? No, I think this is the only thing.
I feel so bad for your mother.
I know. But, dude, she put up with me like you would not.
I know that
she did.
All mothers
I am not the perfect girl child
and aren't perfect. My mother wasn't perfect. I certainly wasn't perfect. My daughter was a nightmare. She probably thought I was a nightmare. I was definitely a nightmare for my mother. And round we go. But your mom can throw parties.
She can.
She always looks very pretty and put together.
She can. She does.
Elsie with a man's pants on and her, and like a wife beating tank top with her arms closed, like crossed over her chest, like scowling at everyone so they don't talk to her.
I mean, yeah.
This poor woman. It's your only daughter. You're her only daughter.
I know.
Have you ever once gone to get a manicure with her? Just say yes or no.
My mom doesn't get manicures, so then there's that.
Her nails are That was perfect. Have you ever painted her
She
nails?
does them herself.
Next time you see each other, paint each other's nails. Make her happy, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Elsie's mom can paint her nails during the podcast like Jess does.
We go get our nails done, or did we bag it? No, we've never done it together.
Wait, no, we did. Wait, I did. I remember my yellow nails. Did I go by myself?
You might have done that before we saw each other. Yeah.
No, you told me to go to the
yourself.
lady at the thing.
Yes. We didn't go together though.
It was amazing. I love that time. Mind you,
really
I was by myself.
Yeah,
talking to the lady.
So was I, and she was lovely.
She was amazing. Loved her.
So bored of us.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
We gotta go.
Wave goodbye, lady.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Bye, lady.